Yeah. Hi, sir. Welcome to our episode. This is, on small finance banks and how the banking sector has been doing for a while now during COVID. We all know that times are very unprecedented. So I'll take a moment to, introduce my guest first. So we have today with us Mr. Rajiv Pawar, a Treasury Head of Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. Sir, we would like to, start this session with, understanding the, credit offtake of the small finance bank specifically, and also the banking sector as a whole during this time. What are the concerns which you are, looking into?
Sure. Thank you so much, Ria, for inviting me for the session. To answer your question, it's been an interesting past few months, but it's been dramatic ups and downs. I mean, obviously, at the time of the lockdown and moratorium, things were very quiet across the banking sector. But in the past month, we have seen good traction. I think the whole banking sector has seen that. Most of the banks have seen business coming back fairly sharply. So both in terms of disbursement, collections, there has been a fairly large pickup, and I think that activity is only going to pick up more and more as the economy again opens up. So I think there are good positive green shoots, and I think they are only going to get better from here.
So talking in particular about, the credit risk, where are you seeing this credit risk, specifically? Which asset classes look riskier to you, and which ones look, less riskier to you at this moment?
So my thinking is slightly different on this. I mean, the typical thinking is that whoever is at the bottom of the pyramid, the poorer people, so to speak, that is at a greater credit risk. But the way I see it, in terms of support which comes from the government, comes at the bottom of the pyramid, and also in terms of the willingness to pay is definitely higher with people at a lower salary or a lower income level. That's not to say that a larger company will very willfully go and default, but typically a person with a small loan, who is be it on the microfinance side or in a middle class person, that maybe is one or only two options that he has for getting finance. So he will not like to mess it up. So whatever lines of credit a person has, he sticks to that. So that's something which I think we will continue to see. The behavior, the credit behavior of people will be good in that particular segment.
All right. Talking about the interest rates, what is your take on interest rates for this FY 21?
So, I mean, obviously, like everyone else, I also see interest rates coming down. I probably see another 50 basis cut in the market. But will this translate into actual rates coming down in the market? We don't really know. If you look at the bond market, also, we have seen yields coming down fairly substantially. But with the past few rate cuts, every time we've seen yields go back. In the past month, also, we have seen the 10-year bond, it's been hanging around 6%. The new bond is slightly lower than that, but the new bond also, I think today is about 5.8. It's moved up about 10 basis in the past month. And there's been a lot of issuance which has been there. Even in this new particular bond, the each auction is about 30,000 odd crores, if you include the green shoe and everything. And in the 10-year itself, we have about 18 odd thousand crores coming through. So next 2-3 auctions later, which effectively means in about 2-3 fortnights, you will probably see this bond almost full, and you'll probably have another new bond coming probably by August or September, which means appetite for this bond will completely die out. So even though liquidity is good and RBI is doing all the heavy lifting, I don't really see bond yields at the far end at least coming down very substantially. I think the curve will steepen. The short end is going to be decent. I think there will be demand out there. Liquidity will support that. But at the far end, supply will be there, and you will see yields more or less staying where they are. I mean, you might see some sort of a little surge coming once in a while when there are actions like there's an RBI OMO announced now. But after that, you'll probably see yields slipping back. So I think you might see 50 basis of cuts, but the year might still end up with the 10 years still hanging around 6%.
Okay. So talking about this, transmission of rates, which you very nicely explained, despite a 50 basis cut which you are expecting, what is that hurdle which, is not letting this transmission go? Are we expecting something coming in, in those lines?
So the big challenge for any bank or any lender for that matter currently is, how to get a balance between supporting your customers who are coming out of this kind of COVID crisis, and at the same time adhering to whatever your credit norms are. Because a particular lender, somebody you were lending to maybe 3-6 months ago, he may be very, very different right now. the business may have changed, the business profile may have changed, the market obviously has changed. So getting that correct balance is extremely important. On the other side, banks also have to get the rest of the business going. For example, a bank does not have only an asset side; it's got a liability side as also, as you know. And the liability side has to keep on running. That liability engine has to keep on running. Deposits have to keep coming in. I mean, there are no moratoriums on deposits. So servicing that, making sure your deposit customers come through. So you have had a time where deposits have flown in. Maybe lending really hasn't happened too much, but you still have to take in those deposits, service those deposits, and there are costs attached to that. So pricing in those costs and pricing in the new credit worthiness or the credit quality, so to speak, that is, I think, a challenge for banks. Because you have to support your customers, you have to get your customers, back on the ground. At the same time, you have to be faithful to your own other stakeholders and whatever norms are laid down in the banking system.
Right. So we have seen that government has already given us, moratorium. RBI has also given banks and few of the sectors some moratorium to, face out this whole crisis. How do you see,
Right.
period after that? Because that would be the crucial time wherein, people are still recovering, and the moratorium will get ended and they will have to pay back their dues. So how will that phase be looking like?
So it's going to be a challenge. Obviously, the RBI has done a lot of heavy lifting, and they have done a lot in the past few months. They will have to continue to do that, which they are doing, of course. I mean, the liquidity support, the OMOs, etc., which are coming through. That is coming through. I think more and more it'll have to move away from just monetary measures to sector-specific measures. If a particular sector, be it automobile, be it microfinance, be it any particular sector or business which is impacted due to certain reasons, there would have to be certain support or certain kind of SOPs given to them to support them. Once that happens, then the businesses are able to come up to the ground, come out of its moratorium, able to pay its EMIs and get back on the ground. So, it is like a push and pull kind of thing. So the RBI has supplied money, the banks are there, they're willing to give it out. Now, the ability of the borrowers to be able to pay on time and to get the business back on the ground, that needs to be supported.
Are you seeing some credit growth picking up in the coming months? What is your take on that?
I think it's definitely, we have seen some amount of it, and I don't know whether the credit growth is going to be V-shaped or U-shaped or W-shaped or whatever, but definitely it is there, and it's not that the economy recovers faster, or the banks push it, or the RBI pushes them to come back. It's that it's a business, it's a basic necessity to survive. If you're a small businessman, you're running a small bakery somewhere, yes, you have to get your business back on the ground. If you're a tailor, or you're a MSME, or even if you're a large corporation, you do want to get back to business. I mean, you have salaries to pay, you have a business to run, loans to be paid. So it is in everybody's interest to get that business back. I mean, every day in Bombay, when I go out, I see in the past week or so, there's been a huge surge in traffic. It's not that people are, dying to get back to work immediately and they enjoy traveling through the traffic. It's that you have to earn a livelihood and you have a commitment. I mean, people have a commitment to the jobs. They want to go back and get it normal. So yes, I see recovery happening quite fast. The speed obviously is dependent on, medical crisis and all those things, but the willingness of getting back to normal is definitely very, very strong with people. And I see that amongst my colleagues, I see that in the banking sector, I see it otherwise also. People are very, very keen to get back to work.
So which particular sectors are you looking the recovery to be having a faster pace? Any specific sectors which are there in your mind?
I mean, I'm not an expert in terms of particular business sectors, but my thinking normally would be that anybody, I mean, logically, a commonsensical thing is coming out of a crisis like that. The first thing you're going to go do is not go and buy a fancy house or a fancy car. You're going to hold back on some of your expenses. So it's your basic needs which you're going to take care of, be it food, be it FMCG. So those kind of things which are there, your basic necessities which are there. I think those are the industries where we'll see the fastest recovery, and definitely the industries which are allied to that. So definitely banking and financial services, because that is the engine through all the which the money flows to all the sectors. So I think the first recovery, or the fastest recovery, I think will definitely be in the financial services sector, everything else being equal. And then you'll see it, spreading out as people get more and more comfortable to other sectors.
Great. So talking about the bond market, we have seen recently bond market has become very
I'm
active.
sorry, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Better? Yeah. So talking about the
Yeah,
bond
your voice is
market,
sort of coming and going.
yeah, talking about the bond market, we have seen recently the bond issuances coming back into the flavor. Of lately, last few days, what I can see is, a lot of issuances picking up. The companies have been started to raise funds. The business cycle we are seeing is coming back to a bit normalcy. So, how do you see these issuances pacing up in the future? Are we seeing a good continuation coming in? Are the companies, trying to get back to the space? As you already mentioned, the government bonds, they have already seen the trends going up and then coming back to the same pace. Are we seeing a similar reflection in the corporate bond market as well?
So, I mean, it's a welcome sign that the corporate bond market is picking up. Issuances, as you rightly said, have picked up. Some of it has been driven by the TLTROs, etc., and LTROs, which the RBI has done. So that has supported it. To my mind, the large issuances, most of the bulk of the issuances is happening at the higher end of the credit curve, the triple A's and double A's, and that's why you see the credit spreads also fairly tight out there. A PSU or a AAA corporate, I think maybe a 2 year or a 2 year AAA PSU or private will be at about 50 odd basis spread. 5 years it might go to 75 basis. The spreads are fairly tight out there. But if you go along the curve, you go get down to the AA minus to the triple Bs, the spreads could be anywhere. So the credit flow is not happening out there, which basically tells you that there is still a flight to quality. So the very reason why government yields are holding down and liquidity is good is that because people are holding back money, be it banks, anybody else was investable surpluses, they're staying in G6. Now, when you find that the G6 yields have come off at the short end, especially, then you go slightly along the curve. You'll get to a good AAA corporate, be it in the private or public sector. So those yields have started coming off. It will be some time before it catches traction and goes along the curve. But the faith that that I'm willing to go across and lend to a triple B, anybody like a fund manager, what is willing to lend to a triple B kind of a borrower immediately, the way they were say 6 months or 1 year ago, will take some good doing. And it's not that all of it is driven by COVID. I mean. We had credit issues in the past couple of years as well. The NBFC crisis has been there, so all that is still there. I mean, people have forgotten that those things were there. On top of that, we have a new set of problems. So the newer problems might go away, but the older problems still remain.
Correct. Very nicely explained. Sir, just a last question to summarize the whole thing. Are we expecting more measures from the regulators? Anything specific as such for pacing up this recovery cycle?
I think the RBI has always said that they are there. I think every credit policy, when the governor speaks, you always hear him say that he's always there to support the market and they're there for it. And I think they will continue to be there. So whenever a requirement is there, they will come to. But it has to be a joint effort. I mean, they have done a lot. I think the entire banking sector, be it on the asset liability side and the borrowers and the lenders, plus the banking sector will all have to work together. So I'm sure there will be measures as and when required. But it's not going to be an easy walk back. It's going to be a long walk back, but it's something which is doable. And I think there's always opportunity in any kind of a crisis. So new things, new businesses have come up, new ways of working have come up, your work from home has come up. I'm chatting to you from my house right now. So different things have come up which have different challenges for every company and every bank. So yes, I think everybody will participate in it, and wherever required, I think regulators, the government, everyone will step in, and things will get better. I'm quite positive about that.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir, for your precious time. We really thank you for all your views and everything. I would like to take a moment to thank you on behalf of the whole rating agency, to share your views on part of banking. We'll connect sure on many such platforms and webinars and, other podcasts wherein we can have your views since they are very important to the market as such. So, thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks, Ria. Thanks to Brickworks. Look forward to catching up again. Thank you.
Hello?
Yeah.
Sir, can you
Hi.
hear me? Hello?
I can hear you, Ria.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
I can
sir.
hear you.
Yeah. Now your voice is audible. I could not hear your last part. Probably some network issue.
Now, I was saying thank you so much for having me, and look forward to catching up with you again. A pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye bye.